2023 wasn't a good year for the Carolina Panthers, but I'm trying to make 2024 a better one for myself. Get started on your resolutions with Factor so you're ready for the new year. Factor's ready-to-eat meal delivery takes the stress out of meal planning and sets you up for success in the new year. Skip the grocery stores, prep work, and cooking fatigue. Instead, get chef-crafted, dietitian-approved meals delivered right to your door. With over 35 meals to choose from per week, including keto options, calorie smart, vegan plus veggie, and more, plus over 55 weekly add-ons, you'll have a ton of nutritious and flavorful options to kickstart your resolutions. Skip that overpriced takeout trap. Factor is cheaper and way more delicious than takeout. Get chef-crafted, restaurant-quality meals delivered right to your door, and they're ready to heat and eat in just 2 minutes, which means more time for you. Head to factormeals.com/C350 and use the promo code C350 to get 50% off. That's code C350 at factormeals.com/C350 to get 50% off.
In a world where Carolina Panthers fans have an insatiable thirst for Panthers news and opinions, only one podcast roars ferociously. It's the C3 Panthers Podcast.
What's up, Panther fans? It's your boy, Tony Dunn. It's the C3 Panthers Podcast. It's Tuesday night, 9:02 p.m. Mr. Joey, the blind Panther, saying, "Come on, Tony, come on, get this show started." That's right. It's the C3 Panthers Podcast, brought to you by CarolinaCatChronicles.com. You can follow us on Twitter at @cat_chronicles. You can be a part of the longest running Panthers podcast by calling into the show. The number is 252-228-5098. That's 252-228-5098, where we chop up the latest Panthers news and opinions from the fan perspectives. We're not football experts. We're expert football fans, or at least expert Carolina Panthers fans. And my man, Cody Lashney, is among the busiest, the biggest, and most activist of those Panther fans. What's up, Cody?
And listen, man, there's a term, fake it till you make it. I just say I'm a professional. Don't even ask me what I'm a professional at. I'm just a professional, dude, and you can't tell me otherwise. And we're going to talk about the Carolina Panthers tonight. As we do every Tuesday night, we got the division's older brother coming to town, the version of the New Orleans Saints. Or actually, no, we're going to New Orleans. But we're going to talk about it. We're going to break down the matchup with the best Panther fans in all of YouTube. We got Tanner Slawwater, Blake Bettis, Tin Tizzy, John Hare, Joey the Blind Panther, Esquivel, Bill Dotrieve, Underground West, Brad Dugan. Welcome back, good sir. Tony Dunn, ain't nothing to it but to do it, brother. Let's roll.
My man Bill in the chat room. Love Bill. Bill, say his last name for me.
Bill Dotrieve.
Well done. I feel like now I'm not going to be able to say it right because I get nervous when I say it.
Bill Dotrieve.
Like
Bill
I will mispronounce it. Anyway, Greg, the man of many podcasts, welcome to the show. I was looking, you guys have been doing a lot of work, man. So on your podcast, DC Alliance, I'm not going to name the names of them because there's so many. I don't want to name them anyway. But I've seen you've been active. Congratulations on that, and welcome back to the C3 Panthers podcast.
Thanks, man. It's Tuesday night. It's always the most interesting night of the week for me. I've gotten to the point now where watching the games is definitely fun, but I feel like I'm sometimes more interested in what's going to happen in the post-game and Tuesday night show than what actually happens in the game. So it's just a really fun night. Chop it up with you guys, the fans. Let's do it. Talk Panthers football.
We're going to get into the cat calls early tonight and briefly talk about the Panthers game versus the Bears. The Panthers fell to the Bears. We now move to 3-2. The Bears to 5-1. The score was, hold on, I got it pulled up. 23-16. Chicago versus Carolina. We're a couple of days removed, so we'll talk a little bit about that game as well as a little forecasting of the Saints game. We're going to have more content coming out tomorrow Alan Ulrich, my buddy from Under the Dome podcast, is going to help me try to give us a little insight on the Saints matchup this week. So check out Scouting the Saints tomorrow. And right now, one more thing is if you want to, the professor went 4-1 in his picks against the spread this week. Amen. Nice. Amen. And now I fell behind last week. So I went 1-3 last week. So I dropped below 500, right? So I was at 500, and then I went 1-3. So I fell below. And then I went 4-1 trying to make up for it. Did make up for it. I think that pulls me above 500, at least to 500. So I'm excited about that. Yeah. So I'm back in the game. Picking with the professor also comes out on Wednesday night. This is what I was going to say, is that if you want to bet with the professor, you do it at mybookie.ag. And you use the promo code OVERTIME, and you can have fun watching the Dolphins stomp the Jets. I won the Dolphins, and I took the Dolphins -10. Hey, yo, I won the Lions -3 with the Jaguars. I was all over all types of stuff. 49ers, Rams, under. Did that all through mybookie.ag. Use the promo code OVERTIME. All right, let's go ahead and talk about the most recent loss. The Carolina Panthers fell to the Chicago Bears this past week. And I rewatched the game today, guys, and the Panthers were in it almost the entire time to the end of the third quarter. Yeah. They had opportunity. And in retrospect, this is going to make you mad, Cody. I look back at the game, and I think we were too hard on Teddy.
You think that we were too hard on Teddy? Okay, for what?
I won't say too hard. All right, how about this? Is that I came away thinking Teddy was probably the weak part of this game. Like the number one weak part on Sunday. That's how I felt.
So why would you take it away from him if he was the number one?
All right, so I don't think he was the number one weak. All right, so when I went back and looked at it, I think there's a couple of things that rank ahead of it. I'm not saying he didn't have that he had a great game. That's not what I'm trying to say. Mm-hmm. But I think this is number one, the Panthers and the penalty game was tragic. Right? There was too many penalties. Right. The other thing is obviously there were turnovers at costly moments. Now, while Teddy Bridgewater was part of that, so was Mike Davis. Right. So penalties, turnovers, drop catches by DJ, and then Teddy Bridgewater. That's my order of events now after watching it a second time.
Okay.
Like if I was going to make a list of why we lost, that's the order. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Penalties, turnovers, drop catches, Teddy Bridgewater.
Well, but Teddy Bridgewater and turnovers, at least in this game, kind of go hand in hand, don't they?
But some of it's timing. All right, so how about that? The first one is kind of just chipped up in the air. So, I mean, you can't say he just threw a pick. Like it was a play that was...
The first one, yeah.
So hold on. You said some of it's timing. So are you absolving Teddy Bridgewater of all fault if it does have to do with timing not being synced? Because isn't that kind of like not blaming a 16-year-old kid for wrecking the car because they haven't driven for long?
I would say this. How about this? This is what I mean by timing. Is the interception that Teddy threw in the first quarter
was off a tip? Was the ball should have been caught, or it was off a bounce? I saw that, and I'll give him credit for that.
And here's the thing, though: even if it wasn't, the importance to the game, the one he threw in the first quarter is less bad than the one he threw in the fourth quarter, because ultimately, as every quarter goes by, every pass becomes more important. When you're coming down at the very end, that last interception that Teddy throws was actually ended the game. The game ended on that play. So what I'm trying to say
he
is this:
started
is the
and
interception
needed
in the fourth quarter is got to be weighted heavier than the one that was a tip pass in the beginning.
Yeah.
But then I also look at what I'm trying to talk about is that what Matt Rule said is these kind of, what do you call them, like influential game moments or something like that. And the idea is that we didn't like lose a ton of points on Teddy's play. What we also lost a ton of, like the Mike Davis fumble was giant, right? There was a couple of times where receivers were unable to haul it in that could have extended the drive or something to that effect. DJ Moore being one of those people. There was a catch dropped in the end zone. DJ Moore being one of those people. So I just think he might not have been as bad as I first thought.
Well, and I think the thing is Teddy hasn't ever really been terrible.
Right.
But the thing is that he's supposed to be the guy that doesn't turn over the football, right? We already know he's not going to make the big, long splash plays. We know that about Teddy. But he's supposed to be able to take care of the football.
But a ricochet, we can't.
No, but
really
I'm not even
count
talking about the ricochet anymore. I'm saying that after the defense kept us in the game and gave us a fighting chance, as soon as we got the ball back, our game manager quarterback didn't manage the game. So
I think this was more on DJ.
Well, I'm not the whole, because listen,
not the whole game, but also we have no tight ends. How about that?
Well, listen,
there was like zero.
John Harris says in the chat the offense as a whole failed systematically, and I agree with that. And I do think DJ Moore needs to come down with that football in the end zone. That's points. No one is denying that.
Right.
But I'm talking about at the end of the game, not only did DJ Moore, when he failed to bring in the one-handed catch, everyone gets mad at DJ for not bringing that in. And I'm like, yeah, one-handed catches are great. Odell Beckham makes them look fun and cool, but that's hard to do.
Over your head running? Oh, yeah.
And both of them were off. Is that Matt Rule said in his press conference yesterday, and it was wonderfully put, is like, he's like, basically the guy asked him, who's that on? Is it on Teddy or is it on DJ? And the way Rule said is like, we just missed a play. Is that like to say it's on one person is that no, in many ways is that this is when the play doesn't work, everybody actually is off. Teddy thought he was going to run it more to the top. DJ ran it more flat. Teddy threw a ball that was, you know what I'm saying? Like, so there is no, like, it's like y'all are both bad on that play. And, or not bad, but not perfect. And you weren't on the same page. Like, so he was saying this is why do we mince words over whose fault is in this moment is like that play did not succeed because everybody wasn't clicking.
Well, because your quarterback, well, go ahead, Greg.
I would say the reason why you do that is because had he pulled out a win in this game, let's say he scores a touchdown towards the end, still not playing that much better, but just score a touchdown because don't forget, he had 2 opportunities in the game. We drove down the field, stalled out. Then they got the ball back, and they only burned 15 seconds off the clock and kicked it back to us. They could have ran the clock down to like 30 seconds if they'd have played it right.
But if
they
you
only ran
look at
15 seconds, so he got 2 chances. But if you're the quarterback, if he wins that game, he gets all the credit. We're saying Teddy's the reason we won this game, even though he would have played the same game minus maybe 1 touchdown had they lost. And that's the difference. So when you lose, you've got to take the brunt into that too. You know, if we're going to say Teddy's the reason we won, based on plus or minus 1 touchdown, then he's the reason we lost too. Just in my opinion,
I think it's a team effort to win. It's a team effort.
Right.
It's a team effort to lose. But my thing with Teddy Bridgewater is it's supposed to be your quarterback's job to make everyone else perfect. So, for example, if a receiver runs the wrong route, yeah, it's on him. But if you're the quarterback, it's your job to make it happen. A 2-minute drive, the game is on the line. You have to tie it. You're the quarterback. Go down the field and get points. Like that's literally as simplistic as that sounds. that's what it is. And you have to be diligent with the football. And I'm not saying that there weren't times when Cam gave the ball back when it was time to win the game or whatever. What I'm saying is that Bridgewater missed a throw to DJ earlier, like in the game on the previous set of downs. Then our defense comes up huge, and then Teddy Bridgewater gives the ball right back to him. And it's like, man, we're already, or at least people like me, are hard on Teddy Bridgewater for him being so reticent to push the football down the field. Now don't go make me criticize you for the things that you're supposed to be good at. And that's
it
taking
wasn't
care of the
all right.
football.
Over too much. And the reason I'm gonna say this is that Matt Rule said that this loss was a global issue. Like that. Is that that's the best coach speak you've ever heard. I mean, you said coach speak, a global issue, which means a failure at every avenue. He was somewhat complimentary of the defense, but systematically critical of quarterback to offense to everything. And what was it? You were saying that, and I lost my train of thought now, is that you were saying, that it was Teddy Bridgewater, this and that. But the Panthers lost, they just weren't clicking on offense. And it wasn't only Teddy Bridgewater. There were real opportunities where the Panthers could have made pushes, and was Teddy Bridgewater part of the, I guess, failure in making a push? Yes. But there are some other things that were going on. Receivers aren't getting open. Sometimes, guys aren't catching the ball. So I think that this is that a couple of days later, it was kind of humbling, as somebody told me on Twitter or YouTube recently, that this loss was. But the Panthers didn't look terrible. Like, we're really one or two plays away. That's the thing, is the games that we've won, we've made those one or two plays and gotten in the end zone. The games that we've lost, we've missed those one or two plays and had to kick field goals.
How
it's
about
like the same thing, and that's not surprising because that's reality.
There hasn't been a game that we've been in yet that we weren't competitive in. I mean, we've been competitive in every single game. My thing is this: going forward, right? We're 3-3, fine. It is what it is. Going forward, how do we change this? Like, are we just going to be shouting at the moon all season that Teddy doesn't throw deep, or our offense is dinking down?
I got an answer for this. You told me I asked you what was going on with the Panthers this week, right? And you picked it. You pulled up the news. What happened today and yesterday? Read exactly the news.
Yeah. Okay. So, Panthers have signed 5th-round pick Kenny Robinson. And undrafted rookie offensive line Sam Tecklenburg from Baylor off the practice squad. Hang on, we have another one. If I can find it here, we also added. So this is more news. Justin Burris is on IR.
Right.
Keith Kirkwood also on IR, and we signed. Where is it?
It's from Baylor or Temple.
Okay.
You already guessed it. You already guessed it.
I found it. The Panthers have signed safety Sean Chandler off the Giants practice squad, former Temple player under Matt Rule. Chandler will give the Panthers depth at safety after Justin Burris rib injury. So again, now we're getting to the point where our defensive backfield is getting more shredded. More and more people are going to IR. Matt Schofield tested positive for COVID-19. I don't know if
we have not practiced so far, or at least I haven't heard yet that we have. We're supposed to practice on Wednesdays generally.
And to add on top of that, this is going to be the first game in Mercedes-Benz Superdome where they start to let fans in. So we're going to have to deal with who that's too.
Sports fans, It doesn't matter. It's the NFL, it's college football, it's Major League Baseball, it's boxing, UFC. They're all kicking right now, and the place to get on the betting action is MyBookie. There are thousands of lines available on all your favorite sports teams and events. You can bet on the underdog. You can take some parlays. You can even find some prop bets. That's never too late with MyBookie. That's right. You can bet in mid-game, first half, second half, by points. Who cares? I don't know. But you should go to mybookie.ag, and you got to use the promo code OVERTIME. When you use the promo code OVERTIME, you tell them that you listen to my podcast, first of all. That's important. And that advertising can work. And second, you can collect a dollar for dollar deposit bonus. So you go to MyBookie, you have a little fun, you pick with the professor, you use the promo code OVERTIME, and you kick ass like they do in the UFC. So I don't want to, we're going to go to the cat calls in just a moment. The number's 252-228-5098, and I don't want to overly discuss this, but when you hear those signings, when you hear our injuries, despite 3-3, it kind of sounds like we're just going to do what we can with what we got.
Yep.
And see what happens this semester, which is fine. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like we're going in. Like, the people that say, like, go and trade for this, go and trade for that. I see the Panthers trading away assets rather than trading for assets at this point.
So I want to highlight.
And I don't know who those assets are, but there's you got to wonder if there is something there to be thought about.
Let me highlight 2 comments real quick. Our man Josh says good teams win close games, but good teams aren't consistently in close games. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a good point. And then
the Panthers have never been good.
Yeah, right.
The Panthers have never been good then, because they're always close at the end.
To echo kind of what you just said, Trill One says, I'm kind of tired of these rule boys getting signed. Meaning the Temple, the Baylor, you know.
It's like almost like he's just getting them a quick paycheck. It's like this. It's like we probably ain't
going to happen. Yeah,
we ain't probably going to win a lot of games. I can get you $800,000 if you play 2 games or something. You know what I'm saying? He's like, I knew you from back in the day. Nah, I don't know. Yeah. What it sounds like is they're, I won't say bottom feeding a little bit.
Discount shopping, which sounds a lot like what we've been doing.
Dave Gettleman, which is fine. Which I think, I don't know.
Say the word that you said before the show.
What did I say?
Yeah.
Well, you basically said you basically said tanking.
I kind of think that we'll see. As you win, you lose 2 or 3 more games, and these are the type of moves you're making. The COVID. Oh, this here. Let me give you one other kind of caveat, and then we'll go to the calls. Is that we faced the Bears coming off of 9 days of rest, 10 days of rest. They had a long week because they played on Thursday night football the week before. Right. Now we're playing the Saints coming off a bye. Right, so they're rested, game plans, whatever. And then next week we play on a short week on Thursday night football against the Falcons. And the Falcons did just win against the Minnesota Vikings. But when I'm like, we're really in a slug, like body blow. That's kind of body blow. Like, that's the way I think of it. Chicago Bears rested, body blow. If the Saints win, which we haven't discussed that, but body blow, then you go maybe the Falcons, and then Cody, who do we play after that?
Yeah, then we play.
I think we have a bye. Then we have a bye. We have a bye. That's a good thing.
But no, we don't.
I think we have a bye, and then
no, we don't.
No,
our bye is week 13 after we play Minnesota.
Oh,
unless our
never mind.
unless our schedule changes because of COVID.
Nope. All right. I'm just wrong on that. Damn, that
But,
makes it even worse. Who do we play then?
Our schedule, depending on what you think about the Lions and the Vikings, we go Saints, then a short week, Thursday night football at home against Atlanta. Then we have the Chiefs at home. We're in Kansas. Then we get Tampa Bay at home. Then we get the Lions at home, and then we go to Minnesota, and then we get a bye.
God, I can't wait to see the Lions and the Vikings. I tell you that.
I don't know, man.
If we could get to that stretch right there, because then we're gonna have a tough couple of weeks ahead. All right, so COVID though has struck the Carolina Panthers, from what we've heard. Unconfirmed test has come about. So whatever that means, is that some people believe there is a COVID sighting. Some people believe that all COVID I don't know what that means. We're going to close it down because there's an unconfirmed COVID test is the way I saw it. And what I love about this is there's not a single word about it on the Carolina Panthers website. They're like, COVID what? COVID who? I don't even know what this is doing. Matt Rule worked from home this past week. Maybe CK, who joins the show, who is joining the show, can tell us what is happening with the COVID stuff. How's this affecting his team?
I mean, I think you might have seen a little bit of the impact last week, right? Because, I mean, we were already in a pretty, like they had talked about, because after we had played Atlanta, or maybe somebody else, somebody had tested positive on the Falcons, and so we were already in a crazy intensive protocol.
Right. Oh,
already.
Good point.
You know,
missed the padded practice.
Yeah, missed. So there was already probably some preparation issues we already missed out of that. And then secondly, this week working from home, I think you're definitely going to have some impacts, especially against a team like we're young, and I think that preparation is a lot. Like that's a big part of our game plan, is the preparation and the game plan and the installments. Whereas the Saints could probably practice one day a week because they are such a veteran team, and be able to actually still understand what their assignments are and not have to worry about it. We're so young. I think that's where you're starting to see that impact. I'm not going to sit here and say the reason we did so bad last week is because we were stuck at, they were they weren't able to prepare the way they normally would. But, it's with a young team, you've got to think that has an impact.
Is it surprising that the Panthers have zero information on their website about it?
No. No, not at all. That's
the more intriguing part to me, is that
what?
I kind of have felt that NFL teams have tried to more and more own their own media. And maybe the Panthers have fallen off on this a little bit, to be honest. I felt like we were really getting great Panther content from the team in the back end. Max Hinton, you know what I'm saying? Like I felt like some really good content coming from the team portal. It's starting to become, in some ways, a little more
you've been on this for a while
sanitary, and the fact is that we're missing practice right now. The teams are coming from home. We're in the midst of this big COVID pandemic, and the Panthers have been affected by it. Like, Schofield goes to the injured reserve, and there's not a single. It should be a story on the website right now, is what I'm saying. And they should,
for a while, that our media, both the Panthers and just at large, the Charlotte media market kind of has felt like it's left us a little wanting in terms of content. And maybe that's because of COVID. And again, that's fair. The whole fucking world's upside down. But yeah, I do agree. Let's get into some of these cat calls and see if the fans want to talk about the Bears, or they're moving forward.
All right, let's see what we got.
So what are your thoughts on catcalling?
Yeah, it's pretty. You shouldn't do that to somebody.
And how did that make you feel?
Very uncomfortable.
So how do you think catcalling makes the person feel?
It feels good, like
304.
Who's that cat sitting in the back corner with his face buried in his notebook? Who's that kid that can use one?
Yo, what's up, guys? It's Nick from up here in Mass. I just wanted to call in and see how you guys are doing, make sure everybody was doing okay with the whole COVID scare.
What's up, bro?
But had another question that, just popped into my head. Cody, I remember you saying that, by week 6, you figure out who a team is and how they are and that sort of deal. Okay? So we just had week 6. And, I mean, let's face it, it was pretty atrocious. Minus the defense. Defense did pretty good. I mean, yeah, there was a couple of issues, but let's face it, you can't play perfect every play. As much as we would all love everybody to play perfect, it can't happen. So, what do you guys think? Okay, do you think how we were this past week against the Bears is who we are as a team this year? Do you think it was just a little hiccup? I'd love to know what you guys think. I mean, quite honestly, if this is how the team is, it looks like Jeremy Chinn's going to be a superstar. Okay? I don't think anybody's going to deny that one right now. It looks like Brian Burns is being Brian Burns, who is a fucking goddamn beast.
Favorite player on the team right now.
It looks like Derek Brown he's starting to, come into his role that he needs, or that we need him to be. And then I saw something today that also says that, those 3 players, Jeremy Chinn, Brian Burns, and Derek Brown, we need to sign them to an 8-year contract. Obviously, it was somebody's personal opinion. But you know what? Quite honestly, with how those 3 are playing, I think we should definitely sign them to some sort of deal. Brian Burns has showed that he can play, and he can play very well. Jeremy Chinn, Jeremy Chinn and Derek Brown are both rookies. They've kind of shown that they can fill the role. And with them being rookies, who knows what the ceiling is. So, thanks guys for doing the show every week. Happy to listen, and hopefully I'll see you on the podcast tomorrow. Keep pounding.
Appreciate it. Keep pounding, man. Great call. One of the reasons why. So one, I hear what you're saying, and yes, we have a very talented defensive core of young guys that we are going to be able to build around on defense for a few years into the future. Granted, I don't necessarily agree that we got to go ahead and jump and pay them right now. I mean, from a general manager type of perspective, you want to be able to have your salary cap as little as possible to be able to bring in as many free agents as you need, sign as many draftees as you need, and those rookie contracts help you out. Keep in mind, Brian Burns is an edge rusher. So if we pay Brian Burns right now, he's not going to sign a cheap contract. If he's going to sign, he's going to want to sign top edge rusher money, part of which is still proving that he deserves. So
a lot of proving still.
But I think so far, dude, even if he hasn't been showing up on the sack line, he's been getting pressures. I think he's showing a lot of improvement in his play strength, just in his hands and the physicality that he plays with. He's getting better on those bull rushes. I've been impressed with the growth and development of Brian Burns. But ultimately, I think to pinpoint what the caller was saying is that we do have some very talented young players on our defense right now that, could be the names of the future, just like, how Luke Kuechly and Thomas Davis and Julius Peppers were.
I think one thing, too, is so the element that I am interested in is that by signing people early, you're trying to beat inflation to some degree. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Is that you're trying to – yeah, you do it a year ahead or something like that. But all these guys are on their rookie deals. And they're not towards the end of them. Burns, you got a 5th-year option on. So we got plenty of time.
This is his second year.
This is his second year. And you got 4 more after this, potentially. So that's fine. Derek Brown, you're going to have that as well. Who was the other one?
Dante Jackson, I think, is somebody you can think about too. I don't know if you
No,
brought that up.
he said Jeremy Chin.
Yeah.
Oh,
Jeremy
yeah.
Chin.
Again, that if 4 years on that, it was the second round pick, right? Or was he third?
We moved back up into the second round.
If he was a second round pick, we get 4 years with him. So I think at this point,
I think I have that right.
that's good news, for those guys right there. And you're going to want to make sure that Derek Brown continues to grow each and every year, because if he becomes a stud, you're going to be okay. If he doesn't, we're going to be resetting closer than we want to. All right, next call, 252-228-5098.
Hey, this is Kevin from Charleston.
What's up,
I
Kevin?
just want to bring up the fact we were talking about, like, Trevor Lawrence coming to Carolina, or we tanking for Trevor Lawrence or whatever.
Somebody's taking
I don't think we need to actually even get Trevor Lawrence. I mean, thinking about our owner and what he did with Matt Rule. Like, he wanted Matt Rule by any means necessary. And he gave him, like, a shit ton of money just to keep him from going to New York and interviewing for that job. Like, David Tepper gets what he wants. And if he thinks Trevor Lawrence is the next Aaron Rodgers or Patrick Mahomes, he's going to trade up to get him. He's going to trade a whole bunch of shit because, he gets what he wants. So we really don't need to tank to get Trevor Lawrence. I mean, I don't want to give away a bunch of draft picks or players, but, that's my thoughts on that. Peace.
Peace. What was that caller's name?
Ooh.
I wish he was on the phone because it's a very interesting take. I'd like to ask him a couple questions about it.
Hey, this is Kevin from Charleston.
Kevin from Charleston.
So let me start by this. We had this conversation, I think an episode or two ago, where I said I'm perfectly fine in that scenario if that happens. For example, let's just say there is. Well, the big question is, if there's a team number one, are they even going to be willing to trade out of that?
Right.
And by the way, that also means that they're going to know that too.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be ridiculously expensive. However, I said this on the podcast and I maintain it now. As tough as it would be up front, I would be willing to ruin the next draft or two, maybe even 2.5, if it meant securing our future at the quarterback position for potentially the next 2 decades. I would happily do that in a moment. And again, part of my reasoning behind it is if you have the quarterback and you already have a promising defense, in free agency, teams are going to go and be a part of what you're building, even if you don't have the draft picks. I think it would be a good idea. I do agree that David Tepper is the kind of owner who has the balls to do it. To me, it's just easier said than done. Because if you're looking at all the teams on the bottom right now who are in the running to be picking one, like I can't imagine many of them not taking Trevor Lawrence. Mm-hmm. So it would be tough to pull off.
Hey, have you guys talked about the middle linebacker yet?
I have one thing before we get into that.
Yeah,
and that is that if it would be crazier than the Jets trading away their first round pick to the Panthers and David Tepper, the shrewd businessman, for Trevor Lawrence. It'd be wilder and crazier than that. It would be when 46 people are watching this show and we only got 17 thumbs up.
It's crazy.
Come on, guys.
Hit the thumbs up, people.
Come on, smash the thumbs up. All right, go ahead, CK.
No, I think Greg had a question about the caller.
I do. One question. Cody, I get what you're saying. And I understand what you're saying about mortgaging our draft picks for the next maybe 2.5 years to do that. Do you think that's enough, though? Is the question. I don't think. I don't think that if we win 5 or 6 games and we end up in the 9 to 11 spot, I think I said 13 to 14 was, or excuse me, 11 to 14 is where we're going to be. If we end up in that kind of spot, I don't think we have the ammunition to trade down to get Trevor Lawrence if he's there. I just don't think we do it, even with draft picks, even with
future. It would be future.
Are you going to get
first round picks for the next 2 years?
So you're going to get rid of
here,
two,
but Cody's right. It doesn't matter.
Picks.
The team that has the first pick, likely doesn't want to trade it away. It's going to be the Jets. It's going to be you know what I'm saying? Like they don't want to trade it away.
Yeah.
So it's going to be problematic.
Yeah.
And would it be so detrimental? Like, okay, if I'm right and Teddy Bridgewater has missed throws and missed plays, right? If we really are a quarterback away from being a legitimate contender, do you miss those first and second round draft picks? Like, how worth it is it?
How about this? I'll give you your
answer. You're going to have to get rid of Christian McCaffrey, DJ Moore, Brian Burns. You're going to have to get rid of a key element to the team to be able to acquire a player like that.
All right, that's a wonderful point. Is Panther Blue support that? He says, and he's talking to Cody Lack. He said, "How would you feel about the Panthers trading a few players instead of draft picks for Trevor?" So the idea is that. Man, we're gonna learn about the Panthers. We're gonna learn about what the Panthers are gonna be trying to do around this. Is because if you see the Panthers acquiring people, that means being in like around mid-season. You know what I'm saying? If we go and get a D tackle or something, which I don't think we're gonna do, but that's gonna tell us about the team. If we trade away a player, that's gonna tell us about our thoughts about going in the future. You know what I'm saying? Trade away somebody.
But tell me who. Like, if we're talking about trading away a player, it's a player that okay. So
you can trade Mike Davis right now.
You could trade DJ Moore. He's on a cheap deal. Robbie Anderson's on a cheap deal. Bridgewater's on a cheap deal.
Oh, you're right. That's a good point, CK. That's a great point, CK.
How about this? Other than Christian McCaffrey,
they're not going to trade for Christian McCaffrey either.
But what I'm saying is what player do we have on our team that we're positive even nets us a second round pick?
There's not one
Robbie Anderson's like the fourth receiver in the NFL.
They would not trade him back to. They would not have just let him walk and then trade to get him back.
Like who? Yeah.
Oh, the Jet. Oh, yeah. I'm just saying. No, I think in just response to Cody's question is who is even tradable.
That's
I think that's the only name that comes to mind right there.
Someone mentioned K1 Short earlier, but
no,
he's done for the year. He's done for the year. He's gone. Nope, there's nothing.
So the ones you cannot get rid of right now, cannot get rid of Chin. You cannot get rid of Derek Brown. You cannot get rid of Brian Burns. Maybe Matos. You could maybe put something together for him. Maybe Dante Jackson and maybe Curtis Samuel. Maybe do something like that. But when is the trade deadline, by the way, just out of curiosity?
I think it's in like 2 or 3 more weeks.
Okay.
The only tradable asset on this team is Robbie Anderson.
Draft picks. Well, yeah. I mean, I was like,
he's the only person that is worth trading. Actually, somebody in the chat room tell me, homeboy Blake, I love you, Blake Bettis. You my man. Like, we good boys and stuff. But he says Shaq. Who the hell want to trade for Shaq?
Well, I mean, you never know. I'm just saying, some people might want to take him.
That's not a bad, because look.
What do you think Belichick would do with Shaq?
If you're fitting Shaq into somewhere else, like into an already good team, yeah, he might be okay. Mm-hmm. But he's not. Again, like if we're trading players that still have a lot of time on their contract because we have so many new players all throughout our team, and so you're essentially gambling away the foundation pieces that we're trying to rebuild with. So that's what I'm saying. Right now, as far as players is concerned, there are no player. We have no assets.
John M says Curtis is tradable,
that's
and one came.
I agree, but
one came to mind. There's one other one that came to mind.
So you're going to mortgage the whole team, Cody, draft picks and players just to pick up one franchise quarterback?
I got the most tradable option on the team, bro.
Trey Boston.
Moton.
No,
I mean, I'm not saying that's who I want to trade. That's like the most probable.
That's what they would need at the Jets. That would be like you would have to trade offensive line. That's really what they would be looking for. Because
I don't even know if we could trade the Jets straight up. I think we're almost just talking about we'd have to give trying to trade to get up a little bit more. We're not getting the first round pick.
No, we're not getting the first round. We're not getting the first pick.
Let me talk about something. Let me talk about something. Number one, Teddy's not going to go to the Jets either, guys. He's already been there. The Jets are not going to trade for him.
Didn't he get his jaw broken there?
Yeah, well, no, that was Geno. That was
Geno. Okay, Geno, that's right. Geno, okay.
Geno Smith.
Geno Smith.
Yeah,
Geno Atkins. Anyway,
he was on the Bengals.
Okay.
But nonetheless, so here's the trade that I propose. Right now, there is a linebacker on the Cardinals, and it's not Isaiah Simmons. And he used to go to Temple. He was under Matt Rule, and he was a former first-round pick. Hassan Reddick. If we do not make a move,
he's been awesome too this year. He's been great.
If we do not, and they're barely even using him, like, and he's still in his 4th year, so and they have not exercised his 5th-year option, and so right now they're going to be needing to get something for him. Like, they're not going to re-sign him this year. Can almost guarantee
Whitehead.
Yeah. So listen, that's what I'm saying. Like, we need to worry about that right now because that is our most pressing. And Hassan Reddick could very well be something that, he's played for Rule before, and he's already bought into that mind, that type of the process, right? And so maybe they can do something to rejuvenate his career, as he is having a breakout year in some sorts, but not to the point where they're about to re-sign him. Enough to where he's going to get a contract, but not.
Dude,
Hey,
I would hate.
Hey, I got to interrupt this discussion, and we got to go to the next call, or else we'll be here all night.
Yeah.
Hi guys, Rich in the UK. Been a couple of weeks.
What's up, Rich?
Okay,
What's up, Rich?
I'm going to be quick.
Cover me.
Like the coaching, I think the team looks like it knows what it's doing, which is great. See what you think. God, did we get lucky picking up Russell Douglas? Would like to know what you think about him. It sounds like he was playing man in Philadelphia, and now that they've put him into zone, but he's been brilliant. God knows what we'd look like if we hadn't picked him up. It leads me on to another thing, just thinking about it. I think pre-season I said about picking up players who were, not great. Weatherly was stuck behind people, Justin Burris and a few others. Largely they've not been great. John Miller, the right guard, has. Don't know what Cody thinks or anyone, but he's been doing pretty well, perhaps because he's next to Taylor Moton, but he's been good. Burris has been okay, but Weatherly obviously seems to be out if YGM is back. Tahir Whitehead has been an absolute disaster, as you know. Robbie Gray and Teddy. Teddy is an NFL quarterback, but he's ranked about 25. I mean, I know he's got a lot of yards and completions, but his accuracy, that was meant to be a thing. It's all over the shop. Yeah. His passes are not leading people. They're being caught, but I think they're being caught because DJ and Robbie. I mean, look at Robbie's diving catch. DJ nearly pulled that one in, but someone did a breakdown of that 4th down one. And DJ's looking over his left shoulder the whole way, and the ball goes over his right, and he basically flips around to try and grab it. But the throw was off, 6 feet off. So see what you think. I know, Cody, you're not a huge fan of Teddy. I mean, he's game manager, but he's not super accurate. Good completion percentage, but it's because those guys are good. I mean, we really have got good receivers. See what you think there. So the point really is that the guys that we picked up with a view to making them better don't seem to have really made an impact, perhaps except for John Miller and Okung on the line as well. Obviously at left tackle, I think he's doing okay. And Chris Reeve. The line's holding up, so whoever our new offensive line coach is going well, but maybe at the moment that experiment of we can bring in guys who weren't great and make them better doesn't look that good. But guys that are good, Jeremy Chin, Russell Douglas and stuff, we seem to know what we're doing, so that's really encouraging. Anyway, love the show as ever, and love you getting fights with people, Cody. And keep pounding, guys. Take care.
Keep pounding. Great call.
Keep pounding, man. Great call. Lots of coverage there. John Miller is the guy playing right guard, and again, I've been impressed. I mean, that's also part of the reason why I think I've been really hard on Teddy Bridgewater. I don't even think I've been really hard. Honestly, I think my expectations of the man have been reasonable. But the fact that, and you guys can attest to this, I have been on this show for months. I mean, even before the season started, saying I was worried about the offensive line. I thought that we were going to get Teddy Bridgewater killed just because we didn't have time to protect him, and we weren't going to be able to have that Saints offensive line that protected him last year. But our offensive line has looked great. I think that Okung has come back, and I mean, frankly, he's been, I would say, better than even Trey Turner, especially what Trey Turner was the last few years. I mean, Okung has been a serviceable player.
Well,
I
first
really
of all,
like
they
how-
play different positions. Let's put it this way: is that Okung plays left tackle, which is far more, I guess, valuable. And the other thing is, Trey Turner did not look fantastic at right guard for a while. And now I would say this is, do you look at the line and be like, oh my God, the right tackle sucks? I don't know who the right tackle is. Let me be clear on that. Sorry, right tackle. I meant right guard because Trey Turner played right guard.
That's
Right?
what we're
Is
talking
that
about.
like I don't look at the field and go, oh my God, the right guard's terrible. I don't know who the right guard is at this moment.
If you
John
don't know the
Miller.
name, it's probably a good thing.
Yeah, that's why.
Be
Yeah,
talented in that
exactly,
position.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but great call by Rich. I mean, again, it's like it's a Marty Herney thing where he'll make some moves that end up turning out okay and then completely whiff on other positions. Oh, how about this? Let's do this real quick. Is Ian Thomas a bust, or are they just not using tight ends? Because tight ends are almost invisible in
Maybe
what
both.
we do.
What about both?
I think it may be a little bit of both. I think he's not that good of a tight end, and we're just not utilizing tight ends in our offense.
How does he
I think
get
if we had
worse from the Ron Rivera era to now?
I don't think
that's
he
the
was
one
ever
thing I
great
don't
in the Ron
understand.
Rivera era.
He was more productive in his rookie year in this past year. Like it's almost like they've already said you are a bust. Like they have decided he's a bust. I don't understand it. Like, how do you get worse? You play 2 years where you kind of show potential, and then now you take. I mean, I guess I can understand that you might suck. Like you might be chilling and not be interested in getting better. But we thought
think he's
that Ian
terrible.
Thomas was going to step forward. He hasn't.
No, he hasn't stepped forward at all. And Panthers subreddit was saying there was a rumor that the Panthers were interested in a trade for Evan Ingram, the tight end from the Giants, for Curtis Samuel.
Ooh,
Would
that's
Curtis
interesting.
Samuel help
Actually,
their team that much, though?
I don't think so. I think the whole thing is dumb. Like
They need an
If-
offensive line. A bottom line is what their issue is right now.
yeah,
well,
but
the thing is Evan Ingram going to make us any better because we're not Are we not utilizing our tight end, or is he just not open?
I just don't know if the Giants are the destination.
For
Well, I'm not worried about
Curtis
Curtis Samuel
Samuel
if he leaves. I'm worried about the guy we're getting in. Like,
Well, what
would
he's
Evan
talking
Ingram
about
help our
is-
team out?
Oh yeah,
They're
we
not
would
gonna-
love Evan Ingram.
But
Yeah,
are we going
I-
to utilize him? What if we don't utilize him? What
I
difference
think
does it
so.
make?
I think 100%. I think they don't
Okay.
trust these tight ends. Like,
Okay,
because
that
even
could-
when they
that's-
do
that
get
could be a
in,
point,
they
yeah.
throw the ball to him. How many times have they dropped the ball or not
Yeah.
gotten open? I mean, that one diving catch that they talked about, Chris Manhurts. I'm like, he's just falling. Like he was falling because he didn't run his route correctly. He got his feet tangled up, and if he had actually stayed on his feet, he might have actually gotten a first down.
Okay.
I mean, like there's two.
I'm kind of thinking that part of the reason we have so many red zone woes is because we're not using the tight end.
Yeah.
We don't have that
Could be.
big body receiver to go in and box out a DB and just get the ball. Like we don't have that on our team. It's not Robbie Anderson. It's not DJ Moore. It's not Curtis Samuel. Like
All right.
we don't have many big strong guys.
We're not going to talk about it because I'm going to play the next call, but like rapid fire, who's the team that could best benefit from Curtis Samuel right now in the NFL? I'll start.
Patriots.
The Packers.
Yeah, that's a good
Oh
Patriots.
yeah, good one. Yeah, Patriots.
Patriots, Packers. Yeah.
Anybody else?
For Curtis Samuel,
Maybe
Miami
the
Dolphins.
maybe the Bengals.
The Miami Dolphins.
maybe the Ravens.
Ooh,
They're
that's a good
receiving
one.
core.
I like the Miami Dolphins.
Oh yeah, now that they got Tua's the starter now.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah. I mean, Burrow could use
Interesting.
a speedster like
Interesting.
that
I
too.
don't think anybody else. Like you can't trade in the division, right? The East sucks. There's no reason for him to go anywhere in the East. The
Bills have Beasley.
Yeah, Bills have Beasley.
Philly, he could go to Philly.
Okay.
You know,
all right.
could see him
Philly's
there.
all right. We'll give you that. Philly. So it could be Philly. It could be. What did I say again?
The
Packers.
Patriots
Baltimore,
really,
Patriots,
really.
Yeah, the
I think
Patriots,
the Patriots
need
is the most
something
likely.
bigger than Curtis Samuel. He ain't enough right
You're
now.
right. They do. They needed a big number one. what they need. They need number
Well,
one.
They need more
but-
than that. Like,
Samuel-
it's not
Samuel's
going to
not
be
bad.
enough to get them to where they need to be. That's all I'm
It's
saying.
it's not even someone big. They just need someone to create separation.
I just
They
think
got
like,
Demir Bird, brother, the
guys.
separating of the separators.
Oh my God, you and Demir
All right,
Bird.
can we
dude.
please go to the next call?
You tell me.
Carolina podcast, how y'all doing? It's G Cavassier.
What up,
Hey
G?
man, I'm still trying to get over that Chicago Bears loss, man. And I'm gonna say this right now: any Bears fans out there that actually listen to this podcast, y'all ain't shit, man. Your defense is pretty good, but we drove that ball up and down the damn field. Okay, we beat ourselves in that damn game. My God, we did. I mean, that interception in the first quarter, that really hurt us. It really did. It really, really, really did. And I'm not going to sit here and blame DJ Moore for a reason why we lost. I mean, he had a couple of drops and everything. But one thing that I noticed on that 4th and 2, the Teddy Bridgewater threw that ball. Yeah, that ball was thrown kind of fucked up, you know what I'm saying? But you're a professional, DJ. And please stop trying to catch the ball with one hand. I know Robbie Anderson did it in that one game, you know what I'm saying, which was nice and everything like that. But you're not built for that. You're not Odell Beckham Jr. You're DJ Moore. Please use two hands to catch the damn ball, man. For real. And our defense, kept us in there, kept us in the game, even though I felt like we didn't really have a good pass rush, all that good. Jeremy Chin got the interception and everything like that, but it's not the end of the world. We're 3-3? There's 10 more games left. So Panther fans, just relax. I think we will bounce back. It just was a bad game. Let's please not beat ourselves, and let's dominate the way Panthers football is all about. Okay? Always remember, y'all, keep pounding.
Great call, G.
G.
Just to highlight some things in the chat room, Rock Rhyme. This is a good one. Curtis Samuel to Chicago, I think, is interesting. Well, for a draft pick, that's what we would get. Is we want draft picks from any of this. That's what I would want out of all of it. Is I don't want a player. I want draft picks to then exchange to move to where I want to move. But right now,
we just started with Ingram. There's no reason to ask.
Yeah,
here's
something else to go continue with that in the chat room. There's also a mention from John Allaire, and I saw someone else say it too. Njoku from the Browns wants out.
Yeah,
but at the end of the thing is, I don't think we need
him.
I don't think we need to be acquiring players and assets right now. I think we need to be. I don't think it's going to be going that way.
He's only in his second year, though. He's in his second year, and I think he was a second-round pick, wasn't he?
Nah, he's got to be in his third year, dude. I believe he's
maybe.
third, yeah.
He may be. I think he was drafted the same year as who's their quarterback? Baker, wasn't he?
So you just don't want to be getting towards the end of these
yeah.
guys' contracts because you don't want to pay them. They're going to walk. You know what I'm saying? So, anyways, I'm about trading away rather than trading for. I don't think we're there just yet, but the number's 252. Yes, exactly. That's what I mean by trading away, right? Isn't what do you trade away? You trade away to get assets. Think about this. Tell us, Cody. Cody, the draft and the draft order. What does Miami have from Houston?
Well, they have their first and second round pick. So
yes, and Houston sucks, by the way. So it's going to be like a badass, awesome pick.
So
it's going to be like awesome as fuck. The Dolphins, all of a sudden, they're going to be a juggernaut in a year.
If Atlanta offers us,
but don't tell me that's a tank
first and a third. Atlanta offers Julio for a first and a third. Do we acquire that?
No. I don't want players.
The Hopkins.
No,
pick,
I want to get rid of people.
You don't want to get rid of picks.
picks.
You just strictly want picks. Okay, I get that.
Yeah, I want picks. Now, someone did post this to me on Twitter saying, like, what if Houston gets the number 1 pick, but it belongs to Miami? Well, then...
and neither of those need quarterbacks.
Right.
Neither of them need quarterbacks.
So then that goes to that previous caller where David Tepper might just say, like, look, you've got your quarterback, and if Tua finishes strong this season and you can get a whole bunch of picks to build around Tua, like, I would do that in a heartbeat. The problem with that, Deshaun Watson is special to the point where that team might be bad, but he's been playing some of his best football, honestly, this year. Now that there's no DeAndre and he's having to spread the ball around more, they're not going to have the worst record in the NFL. Dude, the Jets are a next level of suck.
They are. They're the worst. Next call.
What's going on, C3 Nation? This is your boy, Jay Anderson, calling y'all, man.
What up, Jay?
I wish I could have called y'all Sunday after that game, but nah, got y'all now. So, man, that game, I'm happy that, yes, I am a Panther fan. I'm happy that the Panthers took that L. So a lot of Carolina Panther fans can humble themselves. Because I think, that 3-game winning streak, all the Panther fans were talking about division. We can win the division. And, they went all on their high horse. And I understand, hey, when you win, it feels good to win. And I like the fact that they did win. But you still have to stay humble. If this is a rebuilding season, then act like it's a rebuilding season. I mean, expect some bad games. It's going to happen. Don't just say we're going to win a division now and then when they lose, it's a rebuilding. No, keep the same energy when they win and when they lose. It's a rebuilding season. It's a rebuilding season. So I think hopefully the fan base, you can still be excited and still be excited for rebuilding season. I mean, it's just the same thing back in 2011. I mean, we know we had a great offense, in a crappy defense. But we know that season was a rebuilding season, and we did good at the end of the season, and we move on to later years and stuff like that. So, a lot of Panthers fans should be humble. Now, at the same time, I'm not a Teddy hater. Although a lot of people, when you be critical of Teddy Bridgewater, they think you're a Teddy hater and you're a Cam lover. But I like both guys, even though I'm a super Cam fan. But at the same time, I have been critical of Cam a lot, just like I'm going to be critical of Teddy. Now, people need to stop babying Teddy, because Teddy has been in the league since 2014. He's made the playoffs one time. He's been in the league since 2014. So people need to stop acting like he's a rookie quarterback or a second-year quarterback. He's been in the league that many times. So people can't be critical of Teddy. People should be critical of Teddy. So, he just need to do better. He need to be more accountable of his,
I'm going to keep powering through
those passes
that
he be. Yeah, this is Jay Anderson again hitting you up. But to continue on the Teddy thing, Teddy, I believe Teddy overthrew DJ Moore. Now, DJ Moore, if you want to be a number one receiver and want that number one receiver pay, you got to make that catch. But we understand that if a certain quarterback, certain former quarterback would have made that same throw, people would have said he overthrew. So they got to keep that same energy too. Because a bunch of times that Cam has threw the ball, a lot of times quarterbacks throw a ball so a wide receiver can catch it and, away from the DB. As a wide receiver, you got to make those tough catches. DJ Moore wasn't able to make them tough catches. But Teddy has been, overthrowing the football and throwing behind the receivers too. So people need to start being critical of Teddy. People can be critical of Teddy as well as praising him. So they're basically the Cam haters that love Teddy, that love Teddy so much and get on anybody for criticizing Teddy. But you can criticize Teddy and still like him as a quarterback. All right, y'all holla at y'all.
Holla at you, man. Thanks, Jay. I agree with almost everything he said. I like the part that he said about the rebuild too. It's like in 2011 when you're rebuilding. Hey, man, sometimes you got to suffer through a rebuild. I think the problem with that comparison is in 2011 we had the quarterback to build around, whereas now the argument that we're making is we don't have the argument to build around, and until you have that quarterback, you're not really building around much of anything. So. But I do agree with what you said at the end, though, man. We got to be fair in our criticisms about when someone does make plays. And it gets very overshadowed. But I try and say that Teddy Bridgewater, he has looked good. He's looked like we've expected.
I try to tell you, I went back and watched the game today, and while he did throw, like he had a couple bad plays, there were plenty of other plays left on the field where the game could have been won.
Yeah,
right,
and
those been made, and they could have extended drives. There could have been, and certainly was he at his best in every one of those plays. I'm not going to say yes or no, but there was. I almost kind of think that the coach speak is right here. It was a global failure, like when Teddy threw a good ball. DJ didn't catch it. When DJ, you know what I'm saying? It was like never, everything wasn't going right all at the same time. On offense. On offense only.
Do you know what's the most frustrating to me about watching a game with the Panthers right now? Is we talk throughout the game a lot of times, the four of us, and there's a lot of times where I want to, like, I'm just about to text, man, Teddy's looking really good right now. Then he messes up and he goes on a bad streak. And then I want to text, wow, Teddy really screwed up there. Then he does something really well. And like I don't know what to send, because every time I send something, he does the opposite of that. It's so frustrating. Like I said, consistently average. Really bad, then really good. Really bad, then really good. Really bad, then really good.
It's almost consistently inconsistent. And we'll see if it becomes consistent. I think Jay Anderson wants a third try.
What's going on? This is Jay Anderson again. I know I hit y'all for the third time, but I've got to say one more thing. To hear Whitehead, I know a lot of Panthers fans were talking about why it's weird to hear Whitehead here, why is he on the team, why is he starting. Everybody should know. He's a Matt Rule guy. He went to Temple. Matt Rule got his players there. So he's not going to bench him. I don't believe he's going to bench Tahir Whitehead just because that's Matt Rule's guy.
They do.
So Matt Rule better be careful about picking his Temple players and his Baylor players. You know, you don't want to be like Steve Spurrier, like what he did, pick all his Florida players and ain't panned out well in the NFL. So you better be careful, huh? I mean, one thing we can say about Ron Rivera, he had a bunch of Cal players running through Carolina like that. So Matt Rule better be mindful about
spread back,
the players that he picked
to the people that got him.
To hear Markhead as Pat Coltrane to say that he need to go. He is just. I mean, we had a history of Mike linebackers, and he just.
Don't worry, he will go, guys. Don't worry.
Y'all.
It's example. You said it, Cody, before we got on the show. I didn't want to say the word tank it, but think about it. Is that he's just here for this year? I think we've actually figured it out. Is a lot of maybe some of these Temple Baylor signs at him getting a little cash to the guys that got him here. It's not. It might not be much. It might not be a giant signing, but how about this? Is that if you could give me a $500,000, $800,000 check for a year, I'll take that.
Yeah, I'm not blaming the players for taking it.
That's what I'm saying. It's like this year is actually a secret. It's a genius tank, Cody.
There's no you guys. There is no way that this is a tanking season. There is literally
Dude, they're paying Tahir Whitehead, man.
I don't think it's a tanking season. I just think it's the exact same thing we had last year.
What do you think you do with Tahir Whitehead? Does it even matter? Because he's going to be gone after this year.
He signed a 1-year contract, right?
It doesn't matter. Like, what are you going to do? When people say get rid of him, what do you actually do? If you don't want to be good, it's probably best to keep him. I heard some people talking about the Jets, and this is an interesting thing. Is like, why haven't they fired Adam Gase? And I heard, who's the best guy? Who's the guy that, used to be on SportsCenter, now does his own shit? He's like the best radio bro. Like, no, in the morning. Dan Patrick.
Dan Patrick.
Dan Patrick. And he's like, why the hell would you fire Gase? He's doing exactly what you want him to do.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I'm saying? Like, do not fire Gase, because what if somebody else comes in there and can't do it as good as he's doing?
And by the way, it's like, if we want to do our best to lose every game, Tahir Whitehead is a step in the right direction, man.
Keep him there.
So, yeah,
exactly.
Keep him there, dude. That's what. So, hey, man, I mean, it's like, look, I don't think that we're tanking. I just looked at our record again. I could easily see us going 7-9, which, by the way, I've
don't
always
say
said,
it. I gotta pay Greg $10. I need us to go
paying,
5.
You're paying Greg
2. You think we're gonna win more than 2 games?
Listen, we're just gonna be paying Greg. He's made a bunch of. Well, I don't know. We do need to revisit some of them.
I need to check.
We gotta check the tape.
I know I'm beating you and Robbie Anderson. I know I beat him in the New England one. I know I beat.
Who?
I'm probably gonna. Like I said, I'm pretty sure I bet New. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you bet New England would lose their first game.
I only bet one. My bet was how many?
Pretty sure you bet New England.
Has no one been writing this down? We need to write down what the bet.
He has, and he's like this.
But it was what I wrote down was kind of different. It was hard to read or hard to understand.
Yeah,
New England would win first game was what I wrote down. And I'm pretty sure that's what I bet was New England would win first game, and you bet they wouldn't. But I'm going to go back and check that one. But either way,
I'm telling you,
I know Robbie Anderson's going to have more touchdowns than Curtis Samuel.
I need the tape.
I know that JD
I
is going
would
to have
not
more
have
sacks
said
than
that.
Curtis Samuel's touchdowns.
Come on.
Because who was their first game, guys?
This was before the Cam Newton signing.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if it was before the
you said they were going to lose. It was before the Cam Newton
Why would I
signing.
care about New England before the
Because
Cam
we
Newton
were
signing?
having a debate about Tom Brady coming to the Bucs and what it was going to mean, and whether New England was going to be worse off than Belichick.
I need to see the tape on this bet. All right, let's go to the next one.
Hey guys, it's Nick from up in Mass again, and I was just on Panthers Insider on Instagram, and they had some interesting stats that they put up about the Saints. Okay, so going before the bye week, the Saints allowed 85% of all red zone drives. Touchdowns were allowed on each goal-to-go drive. They allowed 76.1% completion inside the 10-yard line, while the league average is supposedly 56.6%. Each of the 10 completed throws inside the 10-yard line have gone for touchdowns. Opposing quarterbacks are 9 for 12 and 6 touchdowns on 3rd and 4th against the Saints in the red zone. 55% of all third down conversion rates are allowed in the They allowed 55% of third downs to be completed in the red zone, and 100% of their 4th downs were allowed in the red zone. So I'm curious as to what you guys think about that. I know that's a lot of stats, but yeah, no, I just saw it and thought it was interesting. Keep pounding, guys, all right?
I think this is that I wasn't not worried about the Saints, as in like I hadn't feared them as I watched their games so far throughout the season, right? So you watch week 1, 2, 3, like, man, these Saints are like, maybe they are I won't say imposters, but maybe they are weak in some certain areas. The secondary is not played up to what you thought it was going to be. They are good against the run. Their defensive front is solid. But then the offense, again, you continue to look at Drew Brees and you go, man, the noodle armies are like underneath. But look about this is Marcus Davenport returns to this team this week from injury. On top of that, the secondary has talent upon it. Like, they have talent. And the offense does what they got to do. And they got Alvin Kamara. So they got an explosive guy, but they got a guy like Drew Brees can't throw the deep ball all day long, but he can get it done. He's like a Hall of Fame version of Teddy Bridgewater. I think this is really the Saints coming off a bye week. This is a tough matchup for us. And I think the bye week, the division implications, those are the real fears that I have right now, even more than the team themselves.
Yeah, I mean, this could get tough, man. This is an important 2 games in the division. I mean, this is important, man. This is have-to-have type of stuff. I mean, listen, I've been, in the middle. I've been saying, look, I want to see what this Panthers team is going to do. But, man, if we lose any combination of these next 3, it's going to be a hard road going forward to have any real chance.
But if you win this week, you're gonna have to be throwing your big D out at that point. That's a big deal, right?
That's a huge deal.
I don't think that we're really poised to win this game. I just don't think things are in our favor. You know what I'm saying? Roster to scheduling to all these, and this mysterious COVID that's not on the website. What is that doing to our schedule? What is that doing to the roster? What is that? I saw that they were trying to bring in kickers and punters and stuff like that. I don't know what they mean by any of that. The Saints are basically 10 days rested or 8 days rested. That's a big advantage for them in the COVID world, I would say.
Yeah. Definitely.
So, I mean, I hope the Panthers do well. I expect them to play and perform. They have been to this point. If they don't, I'm not going to be like, ugh, worst thing ever. If they do win, all of a sudden, man, you got to really start talking about what's the potential of the team, though, because you're like in the running. The number's 252-228-5098. We're almost done with tonight's show. A couple more calls.
C3! What up, what up? It's your boy. It's your homie, Blake B.
What's up, Blake?
What's up, Blake?
Hey, chat room. Smash that like button.
My man.
Yeah, you heard
All right,
the
Tony,
man.
dadgummit. What are we gonna do? We got Teddy Two Gloves in the game, dinking and dunking 5-yard and 7 3/4-yard passes. I mean, how long? How long are we gonna sit here and watch Teddy turnovers give away the football? I don't know about you, but I am tired, sick and tired of this Bridgewater Band-Aid. I mean, Cody,
this call is so
I
good.
feel like we got a Bridgewater blister, and I don't know what to put on it to fix it. CK, sounds to me like Teddy BD needs a Viagra or something so he's not so floppy all over the field. I mean, let's go. Let's go. By the way, I got a surprise for y'all next week. Greg! Meow, meow, meow. Keep pounding.
Wow.
Nice.
Wow. That is a call that's already entered C3 Panther Legend. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the greatest calls immediately. How is that, man? My man, we have high hopes for you. And don't disappoint, because if your next call does not equal that, good Lord, you got big shoes to fill, and you made your own shoes.
Blake is the homie. Blake is spitting truth. True facts to everyone. We're tired of this bridge over troubled water. We're done with it, man. We're done with it.
What a good call, man.
It's taxing. It's frustrating. But I'll be damn it, man. Every Sunday I feel like I at least start over and give him a fresh chance to prove me wrong. Like every postgame show, I want to be like, man, Teddy shut me up today, dude. He threw for 400 yards. He was dropping them in the end zone. Like, I want that to happen. I'm just not going to.
Well, let's go to the next call and see if it does happen.
What up, C3? It's your boy, Mike. A to the K to the A. A Supreme Elite
Hope you guys are doing all right on this
call
fine
lineup. It's like
Tuesday
legends
evening.
Appreciate you, bro.
I'm at work moving 53-foot trailers around the southeast, so can't complain much. I am not looking forward to this Saints game as always. I gotta say, out of all our rivals, I despise the Saints the most.
Falcons is my team.
It's in their house. Hopefully we can finally pull one off, because I know they've had our number this past year or two. But I had one question in particular for Cody, and everybody can feel free to chime in on this too. But I wanted to push to the draft expert of our community.
I got you, man.
So we're about a third of the way into the season.
Yeah.
A lot can change, but it's looking like we're going to have a middle of the pack pick, like we feared the most.
Yeah.
So let's say we get that middle of the pack pick that Greg said we would get, 10 to 14, 10 to 15, whatever. Where from this early in the season do you see our needs being placed? Do we go out there and try to draft an O-lineman like we haven't done for the past however many years? Do we try to see if one of the up-and-coming corners falls to us? Me personally, I would love a game-breaking tight end, because we have game-breaking tight ends that break the game the wrong way for us.
No tight ends in the first
Is
round.
there a game-breaking tight end that you would take in the first round?
Never. I'm never
even
taking
in
a tight end in the first round.
We all
ever.
want a quarterback, but
Ever. Never taking a tight end.
I don't know if we'll get one, but yeah.
Oh,
that's
Tony.
my question for y'all. Keep pounding. Panther Pride till I die. I'm back on the road, baby. Woo!
All right,
Supreme Leader, that's my man right there.
Tight end question. Who are the top 3 tight ends in the league right now?
Kelsey, Kittle, and
Ertz?
Nah, Ertz not anymore.
You don't think so? Is it just because he doesn't have a quarterback to throw it to him? Because I think
he does, man. Nah, like Dallas Goedert was over him.
Yeah, I would say either Ertz, maybe
no, not even close.
What's his name? No. They're different. The Ravens.
Yes, that's the dude. That's the dude. The Andrews guy.
Or you guys are overlooking. You guys are overlooking the Raiders.
Yes, that's actually number 3. He's number 3.
Darren Waller.
He might even be number 2, to be honest.
Yeah. So let's look at those 3 guys. Let's say Kelsey, Kittle, and Waller. Where were they drafted? Out of curiosity.
Not in the first round.
How many times has a tight end been a game-breaking tight end and not been a first-round pick? Guys, keep in mind.
Finally, you're talking my language, bro. You don't draft him in the first. OJ Howard.
And he's been middle of the pack.
Greg Olson.
I mean, listen, I hear it. I hear it.
No, David Butt. Like, we could go down the list of them. Do not draft. If we draft a tight
Greg
end,
Olson.
You're not.
We can even go.
You're not drafting a player based on what other people couldn't do. You draft based on
that's like drafting. No, that's a lie, and that's a lie. That's a lie because you said this. Yes, it is a lie, and this is why it is a lie. Is because you have told me over and over that running backs aren't really worth what they're their salt.
No. Hold on.
Yes,
no,
you have.
Me. I've said you misquoted me. I've said that when it comes to paying them, when it comes to drafting them, I don't even care drafting them in the first round. They're still on a cheap deal. My thing is this. If there is a game breaker, now, okay, to answer his question specifically.
There were no tight ends. I name the tight end unless I don't want you to do it because we got to keep going. I want this show to end. I haven't seen my wife in 5 days.
Then let me answer
She's
it.
down there waiting for me.
Let me answer this man's question then. One, I'm going to give you all a sneak peek. Tomorrow, brand new on drafttech.com. I did take a tight end in the first round because we are picking
the
14.
worst. You were fired as our GM.
Now,
I will be pissed.
We don't have that position, and it's hurting.
I don't care if we don't have it. They don't.
The player that I took, his name is Kyle Pitts out of Florida. He's having a crazy season. This dude has the most one-on touchdowns against one-on-one competition in all of football. The dude's a beast. And by the way, he's quite literally what we need right now outside of a linebacker. If we're in the range for a linebacker, Micah Parsons, if we're not talking quarterback, Micah Parsons, the linebacker from Penn State.
I don't even want a linebacker in the first, man.
Tony, then you're only talking about drafting like two positions.
I want a left tackle. That's what I want. How about that? Can we get a left tackle? Oh, my bad. We don't need that.
How many past first round tackles have also not panned out? We can find a million of them.
No,
we can find a million stats to back up whatever.
Yeah, we can find a million conversations when you told me this left tackle was going to change the game. So next call, come on, we got
what
this
was that
one.
wrong?
Yo,
I wasn't
even
call tonight, but I start watching, and 5 minutes in, not even 5 minutes in. Oh no, excuse me, 9 minutes in, not counting the intro, but you already come on, man, you're apologizing for Teddy's sorry ass. Knock the shit off, man. Come on, let's be real. Come with it. Come on.
What's he talking about, man?
Stop playing this game. Oh, by the way,
because I didn't apologize for him.
Come on. You're making excuses for this man.
This is why I drank your beer, Josh, which I had on my counter for a month, and then I was like, ran out of beer. I drank it.
Like,
I'll buy you another one.
What it is.
And mail it to you.
You know, there's no excuses. The man's got talent. He's got a O-line that's giving him plenty of time. Dude just held the ball too long and stared Muggs down. Was doing dumb shit. Like, looking the safety off, man, that's just a phrase he's heard other real quarterbacks talk about. He ain't even know how to do that. You can play games with your eyes.
Too far.
And guys on the other team, you know, in an opposite direction. I mean, you can do that.
It's like saying his dick can't get hard like
cerebral.
Cody's.
No.
What did you say? Soft, dude.
He's an average dude. That's all he's ever going to be. That's why I don't like him. It's not what I want for Carolina. That's not what I want for this team. I'm going to talk about growing the culture and growing the following and all this. A man like that ain't how you do it. I'm sorry. It just ain't.
There's less and less crow for me to eat.
There.
Oh, no, they're going to have to eat it for you. They have to eat it for you.
Ain't going to do it. We need another dominant middle linebacker, whether it's physically dominant or mentally dominant. We need that again.
Agreed.
All right? I mean, we ain't going to ever really get another Luke. That's just the way she is, but you need that piece. You need that cornerstone. We need that on the offensive side, too. And don't tell me that answer is here. It's on this team. It's on this roster. It's in that locker room, because it ain't. And making them kind of claims is just, it's fraudulent. Come on. It's fraudulent. You know,
love this call.
Whatever. The man's going to, like I said, we're going to bumble our way to a middling draft pick. That ain't going to.
Oh, no, I don't love this. I hate this call. Next.
Hey,
I love this call. He is speaking my language, man.
I want to call back on my recent call about trading up. I'm looking at the standings right now, and we have Houston Texans at 1-5, Jaguars at 1-5, Bengals 1-4-1.
Yeah.
Then we got the Chargers at 1-4.
Oh,
and then we have the Giants who only won one game in Washington. And the Chargers just drafted a quarterback. Bengals just drafted a quarterback. And the Jaguars, they got Minshew. I don't know if
They're
they're
not. If
willing to stay with them.
get a top round pick, they're getting the
And then the
Minshew.
Giants just drafted Danny Dimes. I don't know if they're going to stick with him, but one of those teams probably be willing to trade down. And we could probably get Justin Fields or Trevor Lawrence if we're willing to trade up. That's my comment.
We need a left tackle. Screw the quarterback. We need a left tackle. Russell Okung is going to be gone after this season. That's what we need. We need a left tackle. It's time to start investing.
You got to keep in mind, Greg Little had a good game when he was out.
That's fine. I don't care if he had a good game or not. We have not invested first-round talent in this offensive line in a bazillion years.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all, Cody wanted me to let y'all know Cody didn't bail out on us. He lost power.
So
fun. He'll be back when he gets power.
I'm going to have to bail out. So
we have to bail out. All right, give us your ice up pick because I have to bail out as well. Come on, CK, what you got?
I'm.
Come on.
So I'm hesitating because I want to make it abundantly clear this is not about politics in particular, but just the reality that people. I've just been dealing with a lot of it on personal levels and everything. Right now, we are in a position as a country where we need to not just be so divisive, and everything that people do is divisive. And I say one thing and somebody doesn't agree with it, and all of a sudden I'm a horrible person with no morals. Whereas, they say something I disagree with, all of a sudden I believe they're just this irrational, ignorant person. Right. Whereas I think that the way the world works, we need to approach each other with a sense of right now. There's nobody in particular. It's just anybody who wants to just argue to try to change somebody's position, to change somebody's mind without the willingness to hear what other people are saying, to even be open to their own mind being changed. That's where wars start. That's where wars start. So if you're one of these people who just continue to argue one position because you refuse to hear the other position that's on the board, then, I think you need to ice up. So ice up. Anybody like that?
Agree with you.
All right. Thanks, CK. You can find him, Codizzle Allen, on all platforms. He's about to go. Tell us what you're about to go do and then go do it.
I'm about to go stream the new update to Warzone. By the way, absolutely incredible. If you haven't done it, or if you want to check it out tonight, I'm going to be streaming right when I get off of here. They've added zombies to Warzone, and they've added a night mode to Warzone, where right now the character I'm going to be playing as is the character from Saw, Billy. So that little doll. That's going to be the guy that I'm playing as in Warzone. And then you could be Leatherface. They've definitely they've outdid themselves with this update. One of my favorite updates to date. So come check it out tonight if you guys are looking for something to do.
All right, go. Have fun.
Yep. What'd you say, Greg?
Are you doing multiplayer tonight?
No, I'm playing Warzone.
Okay. So yeah, okay, I got you. I'll say I'm off. So if you
No, I got a squad tonight, but yeah, let's plan to have a C3 night.
Yeah, definitely. All right,
boys.
Yeah, man.
Greg, you got anything for us?
Yeah, something simple, man. I don't really know the particular group of people I would ice up for this, but people who do this action, I guess I would say. We've been having problems with mail-in ballots lately with the mail, which doesn't surprise me because I could have told you a long time ago, as soon as DeJoy came in as the Postmaster General, that was the reason he came in, was for us to have problems. So, that's, I don't want to get into the politics of it, but that was the reason why he came in. There are people, though, that are taking their mail-in ballots and sanitizing them. And when I say sanitizing them, I mean spraying them down or wiping them down with paper. And
wiping them down with what?
With sanitizer. So not wiping the paper down with sanitizer. Sorry, I said wiping down with paper. I don't know what they teach in school now, but I would assume that most people know when you get paper wet, especially with ink on it, it doesn't usually equal a good, result. So when you sanitize your ballot before or after you've written on your ballot, it's going to run, and you're going to mail your ballot in, and it's not going to count because you can't read it. So if you're sanitizing your ballots for mail-in ballots, stop doing it. I promise you, I deal with mail every single day. Yes, there is a threat of COVID out there, but I promise you, you run a bigger risk of your vote not counting than you do getting COVID from not sanitizing your ballot, your mail-in ballot. So stop sanitizing your mail-in ballots. Ice up.
All right, my ice up pick goes to the Carolina Panthers for not going for it on 4th down, and I forget what quarter it was or whatever. But then we didn't go for it, and we missed the field goal. Other than that, I'm trying to get out of here. So the number's 252-228-5098. Follow at @cat_chronicles on Twitter. We should ice up Cody's power. And Greg, how can they find the Man of Many podcast?
Man, just check me out at the Bat Daddy 52. You can find everything I do there. Lots of stuff going on 7 days a week. You can hear me on something usually. So the Bat Daddy 52 on Twitter. So
all right, man. Until this week we got scouting the Saints with why am I saying I forgot his name already. Ulrich. But scouting the Saints on Wednesday, as well as picking with the professor, went 4-1 this week, making some things up. So don't forget to check out the smaller content that we're going to keep pumping out there. We'll be here after the Saints game, post-game show. Greg won't be. He'll be gambling money away in Cherokee Nation. Good for you. Congratulations. And why couldn't you have rescheduled your own anniversary around a bye week? I don't know. Right? You could have just pushed it back a week. Jesus Christ. Yeah. All right, let's go. Until then, keep pounding.
Keep pounding.
Looking for a fun way to win up to 25 times your money this basketball season? Test your skills on Prize Picks, the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projected stats, and place your entry. You could turn $10 into $250. Right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit up to $100. Just visit prizepicks.com/fan and use code FAN. That's code FAN at prizepicks.com/fan.
Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.